standard form of a linear equation. In this lesson, we're talking all about how to use standard form of a linear equation. So by now we've gone over point slope form, my favorite form, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. This is the best to make equations, the most famous of the forms, y equals mx plus b. That's when we use the graph. And now we're going to talk about standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. Basically just has x and y on the same side. So this is a linear equation in the form of ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all integers. When you say standard form, we consider them all be integers, no fractions, no decimals. And we want a to be positive. We want the leading coefficient here to be positive. So that's standard form. What's standard form good for? A couple things. It's good to find x and y-intercepts. So it makes it easy to find the x and y-intercepts. And it's also good to solve application problems. It's usually the best way to solve application problems. Not always, depends on the problem, but most of them, it's going to be standard form has been the easiest way. Let's do an example here. Hannah will spend $150 on music festival tickets. Reserved seat tickets cost $25, and general admission tickets cost $10. How can you represent this following situation in a linear equation? So this is a classic example of an application problem with linear equations. So they give you total cost. This is also known as our constraint. Constraint means like I can't go past this. So that's our limiting factor. It's our constraint. Then they give us the cost of each ticket. One of the tickets will be X. In this case, I think general admission, no, reserved seating is like X, and general admission will be our Y. And with that, we could write an equation. We could go, okay, the cost of a reserved seating ticket times X, the number of reserved seating tickets we're going to sell, plus the cost of a general admission ticket times its cost will equal the constraint, 150. So this is a classic example where we can use standard form to set up an equation for us, where we go, how much does one ticket cost plus how much does the other thing cost? Add them up, it equals our constraint. So that's a good one for standard form. So like this, right? You can write our equation, 25x plus 10y equals 150. That's the math you could spend. So that's a good one to do in standard form. If you want to put that in slope-intercept form, first you got to solve for y. If you're trying to put it in slope-intercept form, like that. So if you want to see what they did, 25x plus 10y equals 150. So they solve for y. They subtract 25x from both sides. Now remember, on the left side, they cancel, but on the right side, they don't combine. One's an x, one's not an x. We're just going to leave it alone. So 25x minus 150. Then we divide everything by 10. And they got their slope-intercept form. So like that. That's what they did to put in slope-intercept form. They solve for y. You can always do that. What does that give you? It gives you the y-intercept, which in this case, the general admission tickets. It doesn't give me anything about the x values. And doesn't give me a constraint. So while it's helpful, it's not as helpful as standard form for a problem like this. And let's use this standard form to find the x and y-intercept to show how easy it is. So I'm going to write down here, so it's 25x plus 10y equals 150. If I want to find the x-intercept, if you remember, that's when y equals 0. And if you want to find the y-intercept, that's when you set x equal to 0. Let's find the x-intercept. That's one we don't have. We already know the y-intercept is 15, but let's show you how easy it is to find the x-intercept using standard form. So what we're going to do is we're going to set y equal to 0, and we're going to substitute it in. There's my y. That's going to be 0 now. So 25x plus 10 times 0 equals 150. Remember the beautiful thing about 0? 18 times 0 is just 0. We have this, 25x equals 150, and then it's divided by 25, and you get x equals 6. That's my x-intercept. So standard form makes it really easy to find the x and y-intercept. I could do the same thing with the y-intercept. Plug in 0 for x, those goes away. You get 10y equals 150, y equals 15. So that's one of the benefits of standard form. What if you want to write an equation in standard form? If you want to do that, there's generally a process to it. First, we use my favorite one ever. We use point slope form. That makes our equation easy. Once we have it in that form, we generally want to put it in slope-intercept form. And once we have that, all we have to do is move over the slope to put it in standard form. That's kind of the process. And that sounds worse than it is. We'll do a couple examples. It's not that bad. So let's do the first one. Write the equation of a line that has a slope of -2 and passes through the point 32. I hear those words, right? For me especially, if I hear equation of a line, I'm going, right equation of a line, I'm going y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. That's the easiest way to write an equation. I have my slope, boom, right there. I have my point, x1, y1, 3 and -2. Simplify. And remember, when you do that, two negatives make a positive, so it's y plus 2 equals -2 x minus 3. Next, let's simplify this like that. We get y plus 2 equals -2x plus 6. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in slope-intercept form real quick. Let's get rid of this 2 from both sides. -2 minus 2. So y equals -2x plus 4. So I have it in slope-intercept form. How do I put it in standard form? I just got to move this guy over there. So we're just going to add 2x to both sides. Standard form is when the x's and the y's are on the same side, and you want the x to be positive. Now, over here, they're going to cancel out. On this side, remember, you cannot combine them. They're separate. So it's going to be 2x plus y equals 4. And that's standard form. Let's do another one real quick. Right equation of line. Got it. My favorite. There you go. Give me that slope. Give me that point. Simplify. Y minus 4 equals 3x plus 5. Let's distribute. Man, I should write my y's nicer. Y minus 4 equals 3x plus 15. Let's get rid of that 4. That 4 is the other side. So plus 4 plus 4. So I get y equals 3x plus 19. And then next, I want to move the 3x over. So we're going to subtract it from both sides. Minus 3x minus 3x. Again, I cannot combine these. One's an x, one's a y, so we're just going to leave it. Negative 3x plus y equals 19. I'm done. Well, technically, standard form, you want this to be a positive. So you have two choices. You could move it over. Maybe from here, you would have been just like, oh, let's move the y over and subtract the 19 from both sides. That would have been fine. Since we're in this position, one thing you can do to switch the sign is you can divide everything by negative. If you divide everything by negative, that's how you switch the sign. Divide by -1. We're going to divide everything by -1. As long as you do to everything, you're fine. 3x divided by -1 is positive 3x, negative y, and negative 19. Now that's in standard form. So remember, standard form does want the leading coefficient to be positive. If I have a negative, change all the signs. If you do to every single thing, you're fine. But there you go. Next, how do we graph in standard form? Well, there's a couple ways. You could always put in slope-intercept form if you want. One way to do this is just put it in slope-intercept form. Then you could graph it, find the y-intercept, find the slope, and there you go. So that's one way to do this, is rearrange it in slope-intercept form. But usually the easiest way to do standard form is to find the intercepts. We're going to find the x-intercept, which is when y equals 0. And then we're going to find the y-intercept. That's when x equals 0. And then just plot those 2 points and connect them. So again, a couple ways to graph in this form. One way is put in slope-intercept form and just graph it the way you know how to graph it. The other way is, oh, I have it in standard form. It's really easy to find the x and y-intercept, so just do those. So let's do that right now, real quick. If I want the x-intercept, that's when y equals 0. So we're going to substitute 0 in for y. So it's like this. 3x minus 2 times 0 for my y equals 9. Remember, 0 times anything is just 0, so this goes away. I get 3x equals 9. Divide everything by 3, and I get x equals 3. So that's a 0.30. Remember, our y was 0, our x was 3. So that's 0.30, which would be right around here. The next one, let's find the y-intercept. Oh, by the way, I should label my axes. There's my x, there's my y, there's my x-intercept. Makes sense. Y-intercept, when x equals 0. We're going to plug in 0 for x, just like that. So same equation, but now, in this time, x is 0, so sub that in. Anything times 0 is 0, so we have negative 2y equals 9. Divide by negative 2. Sadly, we get a fraction. Y equals negative 9 over 2. If we want a decimal, it would be negative 4.5. So that'll be the point 0 and negative 4.5. Again, remember, x always goes first. So 0 was x. The thing I found was my y. And the other point, the y was 0. So the thing we found was the x. Okay. 0, negative 4.5 is like right here, right there. And then if I want to graph it, just connect the 2 dots. Just like that. So that's another way to do it. Like I said before, if you really want to, you could put this in slope-intercept form, solve for y. Subtract the 3x, divide by negative 2, and then once you have a slope-intercept form, just graph it using slope and y-intercept. Next up, how about horizontal lines? How about things that don't necessarily have a slope or y-intercept? So how do you graph it when there's only one variable? This is one of my favorite things in the world. What is the graph of 2y equals 6? All we're going to do is divide by 2. So what we're really asking is, what's the graph of y equals 3? How do I graph that? This is my x, this is my y. For me, the easiest way to do it, if you're trying to label a graph, you would do tally marks like this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The graph of y equals 3 is when y equals 3. So that's on the y-axis. And just follow the tally mark. That whole line, that's where y equals 3. This would be 3, 3, 1, 3. This whole line is y equals 3. That's the graph. That's all it is. By the way, this has a slope of 0. If you're asking about the slope, that does have a slope. That slope is 0. I always think of a slope is like walking. What's the resistance with walking? This is like no resistance. You're just going straight 0. Next one though, what is the graph of 3x equals negative 6? Same idea. Let's get the x by itself, divide by 3. So I get x equals negative 2. And we're going to graph it the exact same way. Go to your x this time because it's x equals. Go to negative 2 and then follow the tally mark. If you're marking these, it would be like tally marks like that. So follow that tally mark at x equals negative 2. So that's x equals negative 2. And this one has no slope. It's like if you're trying to walk, I can't walk up a wall. There's no slope. So that's the difference between those two. First, that's how you graph when it's only a single letter. One of my favorite graphs because it's just a straight line. But when it's y equals, when it's horizontal, it does have a slope. The slope is 0. When it's vertical, you do not have a slope. You cannot walk on a wall. You're not Spider-Man. And then next, look at another application problem. Tamara is making trail mix. She has $40 to spend on a mixture of almonds and cashews and wants about the same amount of almonds and cashews. How can she determine how many pounds of each kind of nut to buy? Here is the cost of each one. Almonds cost $8 per pound and cashews cost $10 per pound. So how do we write an equation? If you remember what we did before, this $40 here, that's our constraint. So we're going to write an equation using the standard form. Ax plus by equals c. And c's our constraint. So that's going to be our $40. And what a and b are going to be is the cost of the almonds and cashews. We let one of them be x and one of them be y. Looks like here almonds are x and cashews are y. If I was doing that, it would be 8x plus 10y equals 40. That's why I got this equation here. 8x plus 10y equals 40. Next, if I want to see what are my possibilities, let's make a line. So we're going to graph a line like you see down here. So how do you graph this line? Since we have standard form, we're going to find the x and y-intercept. So remember the way we do that, if I want to find the x-intercepts, we're going to set y equal to 0. And if I want to find the y-intercept, we're going to set x equal to 0. That's what they did here. They plugged in 0 for y, and they got x equals 5. They plugged in 0 for x, and they got y equals 4. And that let them graph a line. Now, these are all the possibilities. Right here, where it's my y-intercept of 4, that's us spending all the money on cashews. We're going full on cashews, leaving it no almonds at all. Down here, 5 pounds of almonds, that's saying all almonds, no cashews, which would be my preference. And then on this line is all the different possibilities. So like right here, that's 1 almond and then 3 cashews. Over here, it's the opposite. That is 4 almonds and 1 cashew. These are all the different possibilities. And the ones that were closest to each other were 2 and 2.4 and 2.5 and 2. And that's the end of this video.